Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. We are from group 1 and we would like to present the material about key concepts in psycholinguistics. But before we continue, I'd like to introduce our member. So there is Nurul Ramadhani. Email, it's me as the moderator for this presentation, and then the last is Naisila. So let's continue the material. So the first point is about the background, and it will explain by me. So language is one of the most remarkable human abilities that distinguishes humans from other living beings. Through language, people can express their thoughts, share knowledge, and establish social relationships. The study of how human beings acquire, understand, and produce language has given rise to a field known as psycholinguistics. Psycholinguistics is an interdisciplinary branch that combines psychology and linguistics. Psychology focuses on mental process and human behavior, while linguistics study the structure and function of language. By exploring this process, psycholinguistics helps us understand the complex relationship between language, cognition, and the human brain. In essence, psycholinguistics shows that language is not only a tool for communication, but also a reflection of cognitive and neurological process that reveal the sophistication of the human mind. Well, this is the second point of our material and is about definition and scope of psycholinguistics. The first one is about definition and the second one is about the scope. So I try to explain about definition first. So psycholinguistic is the study of the relationship between language and the human mind. It investigates how individuals acquire, comprehend, produce, and store language. This field emerged as an intersection of two major disciplines: psychology, which deal with human behavior and cognition process, and linguistics, which focus on the structure and use of language. And then the second one is about the scope. The primary aim of psycholinguistics is to understand how language is represented and focused in the brain. It seeks to explain how people turn thoughts into words, how they interpret sentences, and how linguistic information is stored in memory. In short, psycholinguistics bridge the gap between language and cognition. It provides insight how mental processes such as perceptions, memory, and attention contribute to human communication. So that's all the explanation about definition and scope of psycholinguistics. That's all from me. And then the next point is about relationship between language and brain, and then a quick geography of the brain. That material will be explained by Nurul Ramadhani. So please, time is yours.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Ramadhani, and with last ID number 088. So I will explain about the material, and the material is the relationship between language and the brain. The brain plays a crucial role in every aspect of language processing. It is the central organ responsible for receiving, interpreting, and producing linguistic information. Within the brain, specific areas are specialized for language function, such as comprehension, articulation, and grammatical processing. Two of the most well-known regions related to language are Broca's area and Wernicke's area. So, Wernicke's area, located in the temporal lobe, is associated with language comprehension. And the match in this region causes Wernicke's aphasia, where individuals can speak fluently but produce sentences that lack meaning. Meanwhile, Broca's area, located in the left frontal lobe, is primarily responsible for speech production and grammatical structure. The make to this area often result in difficulty forming sentences, a condition known as Broca's aphasia. Often result in difficult forming sentence, a condition known as Broca's aphasia. And the next material is a quick geography of the brain. To understand how language operates in the brain, it is helpful to look briefly at its main division. The first is upper versus lower brain. The upper surface of the brain consists of gray matter, known as the cortex or cortical area. This region handles many complex operations, including connection new information with through knowledge, analyzing sensory input, and controlling sophisticated muscular movements such as those used in speech. The second is left versus right hemisphere. The brain is divided into two hemispheres, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, connected by a bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. The left hemisphere generally controls the right side of the body, while the right hemisphere controls the left. And the third is front versus back brain regions. The brain's outer surface is marked by footnotes, asgar or ridges, and sulci or grooves, dividing it into four main lobes. The first point is frontal lobe. Frontal lobe is associated with planning, reasoning, problem solving, and speech production. And the second point is parietal lobe. Parietal lobe process sensory information such as touch and spatial orientation. And the third is temporal lobe. Temporal lobe is responsible for hearing, memory, and language comprehension. And the last point is occipital lobe. Occipital lobe is primarily function in visual processing. I think that's enough for me. I give back to my friends. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nurul, for your clear explanation about that point. And then the next point will continue by Naizila. It's about comparison between human and animal brain until the conclusion. So, Naizila, please, time is yours.
Okay, now I'm Nazila. Now it's my turn to give explanation about comparison between human and animal brain. The human brain shows several significant differences compared to the brains of other animals, particularly primates. These differences are closely related to the unique human ability to use and understand language. So there are three main points differences to compare between human and animal brain. Firstly is the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex of human is much more extensive than that of other primates. The cortex plays a crucial role in higher level cognitive function such as planning, problem solving, and language use. Secondly is the prefrontal areas of the human brain are up to 6 times larger than those of chimpanzees when adjusted for body size. These are These areas are responsible for recognizing similarities between objects, categorizing concepts, and modifying behavior based on new information, all of which are essential for communication and language processing. And thirdly, although many other species also have brains divided into two hemispheres, left and right, the human brain exhibits a higher degree of specialization in humans. The left hemisphere is generally dominant for language and symbolic processing, while the right hemisphere is more involved in spatial awareness, perception, and emotional context. In addition, the motor areas of the human cortex provide a greater level of control over the mouth, tongue, and jaw, which are vital for articulation and speech production. In contrast, in most other species, these functions are primarily managed by the lower parts of the brain rather than the cortex. So, based on our material, we already conclude that psycholinguistics is a field that connects to the study of language with the study of the human mind. It seeks to understand how language is produced, comprehended, stored, and acquired. Though psycholinguistics, we can see that the language is not merely a system of words or grammar, but a reflection of human cognition and brain function. Psycholinguistics help us understand how deeply intertwined language and thought are. It reveals that every act of speaking or understanding words is not only a linguistic process, but also a neurological and cognitive event. By studying psycholinguistics, we gain a deeper appreciation of how extraordinary the human brain is in its capacity to transform thought into language. And yeah, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll give back to moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nazila, for your clear explanation. That's all presentation from Group 1 about key concepts of psycholinguistics. And to our member, thank you for your great explanation about a lot of point of our material today. And from audience, thank you for your participation. Thank you for your attention. And that's all from our group. Thank you so much. And I'll give back to Sir. Thank you.